Hello, hello, everyone. I'm just reading through the comments. It's so nice to have you all here. It feels like it's been a while because it has been. It's been like 2 weeks since I was last on the live, but I've missed you guys. So today is going to be one of those lives. Okay, it's going to be one of those lives. Hello to everyone that is here. How are you all? It's nice to see the familiar faces. I can't actually see your faces, but you know what I mean. So today we're talking about the strange intimacy with a narcissist. Oh, we've all experienced it. We all know what this is going to be about. It is weird. Like, I don't know, it's one of the strangest things. But yeah, we're gonna talk about it today. But it's one of those topics that I am gonna say, listen to this with an open mind, because we're gonna talk about some weird stuff. It's not weird, but it is. But it's not. I'll explain it all. So, where is everyone from? I can see there's been like from the UK, Sean from Wales. Hello, darling. We've got Sheila from New York, Australia. Shall I tell you guys a funny story? Something that happened to me today. Well, it's not a funny, it is a funny story, right? So those of you that know, and from Laguna Beach, oh my God, I would love to be there right now in California. I bet it's amazing. Mike, why are you even waiting for them to call you after 45 days? It's good that they haven't called. Forget it. Forget them. You know what? You got to move on in your life. Beverly Hills, Ohio, amazing. Do you know, whenever I've been to Beverly Hills, like I visited there, it's amazing. But Beverly Hills reminds me of that film, Pretty Woman. I don't know why. Canada, Romania, hello. Long Beach in California, amazing place. Pakistan, Holland, this is amazing. Thank you so much. You guys are literally from all over the world. Dallas, Texas, Zoe. This is amazing. Like, it always just blows my mind. Anyway, I'll tell you the funny story. So, as you all know, I've got this funny dog called Alfie. And it's quite cold in the UK. Those of you that are in the UK, you know what I mean. Like, it's been so windy today, but it's very sunny. And so probably about an hour ago, maybe more than an hour ago, I was saying to the dog, I was actually debating with the dog, and I said, come on, we need to go out. And he's like literally having none of it. And I was like, no, we need to go out because we haven't been out. We just need to go for a walk. And he's like, no. You know when you can just tell he's saying no? Anyway, so I went out the front door. I'm knocking on the window to try and get his attention. He's like, no, I'm not going. So he needed to have some fresh air. Anyway, so I picked him up and I'm walking with the dog down the road. Anyway, this woman's coming past me and she says, oh, because the bins were in the way or whatever, it was like bin collection day today here. Anyway, so she says to me, oh no, you come through with the baby. Because I literally was holding him here. And I was laughing to myself and I said, thank you. And she said, oh my God, I actually thought it was a baby. When I saw the ears, I thought, oh my God, that's not a baby. And I said, it is a baby. But he wouldn't walk. Anyway, after that, he did. But I was just laughing to myself. It probably isn't funny, but I was laughing to myself. That's true, Sheila. The sunniest days are always the coldest. Yeah, but this dog, I don't know, he is a character to himself. Do you know what I mean? Like, he just would not walk because he was like, no, I'm not doing it. It's too cold. I'm not going out. Also, when it's raining, he doesn't go out either. So there we go. That's my funny story of the evening. I'm sure I'll come up with more. Anyway, how is everyone doing? How has this couple of weeks been? I'm really, really sorry about last week. Like, I'm so sorry that I couldn't be here, but we are here today and we're going to talk about this weird subject, this strange intimacy with a narcissist. So yes. So we all know how this story goes, don't we? We all know what happens, okay? We understand that this is just something that when it's happening to us, it's very, I don't know, like it's very difficult to understand why somebody would withhold intimacy. Like it's the most strangest kind of thing. Like why would you? As human beings, we wouldn't do that. Um, it's something that connects us to one another, isn't it? Ultimately, it bonds us in relationships, and yeah, but that's not what the narcissist is about, though, is it? But at the time when it's happening, we we don't realize, do we? We don't click that it could be this, and so it just makes it very hard for us to understand. And I feel like for a lot of us, we internalize this. We internalize this and we think that we are not good enough, or maybe we feel rejected by this person. And, like when you feel rejected by someone, it's one of the most hurtful things, because then we feel like we're not good enough. We feel like maybe there's something wrong with us. Maybe we've done something wrong. So we always try to fix it. We take responsibility because we want to try and fix it in some way. And it's true, they never accept their mistakes. They never do. Um, they'll always, yeah, that's right, they'll blame other people all the time because, let's face it, they don't want to take responsibility, do they? They don't take responsibility for their actions and they just want to blame everybody else. So before I go any further, guys, if you I would love it if you were to hit the like button. Let's get this message out there to more people. I'm really grateful for you guys being here, but I'd really love it if you were to hit the like button. That's all you got to do. Just it's free. I'm not asking for money. Just press the like button. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Also, do you know what I did earlier? I gifted some memberships out to some of you. So you guys would have got a notification from me because I gifted some of the memberships to the Journal Club earlier today. So congratulations to those of you. I will be doing this probably like twice a month, gifting memberships to the Journal Club to help with your healing. So I want to give back as well to you guys, because you guys are amazing, supporting me, turning up here every week on the lives. So yes, this is amazing, but just hit the like button. Thank you so much for those of you who have already done that. Thank you, thank you. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's get into this weird rabbit hole, okay? So they, do you know what? If we really think about it, right, intimacy, obviously I can't say the word, it's sex. Okay, so the intimacy, right, with another person is all about bonding, isn't it? It's all about that connection. You obviously really like them, so and you're in a relationship, and it's used for bond. It's used as attachment to one another. I'm talking about the healthy sense, all right? So as we know, with a narcissist, there is no connection. It is surface level. It is about you serving them. It is about you being an object. So they objectify people because what it means is that there isn't that connection. If there's no connection, to yourself, which there isn't for them, then how can you connect to another person if you can't connect to yourself, right? So they've spent a lifetime putting these walls and barriers up. Trauma will do that because that is exactly what happens, all right? But they disconnect from themselves from childhood. And because of the trauma that they have experienced, this doesn't get corrected. So in adulthood, they just repeat the same patterns. No one's out there telling them, hey, this is wrong, or it gets them the results that they need. Being mean, being evil, having, tricking people, lying, all of that, okay, all of that gets them results. they learn that actually to trick people, to lie to people, to others around them, is their way of being. That's how they survive in the world, because they don't understand what authenticity is. Like, they don't bring themselves to the table. I mean, like, actually, who are they? They don't even know themselves. They mold themselves to others, to the situation, to the people around them. And that's what I'm talking about, the disconnect. If you're connected to yourself, and this is what I always talk about, this is what the book is about that I'm writing, which I haven't done much writing since I was in Greece. It's all right, I'm on the case. Anyway, I've already got told off about that. Anyway, so, when you're connected to yourself, you bring yourself to the table. Like, you have confidence, you have self-worth, you know who you are. Yeah? So for a narcissist, it's fake confidence. 1 minute they're like this, then the next minute they're like that. Which is why, at the beginning of these relationships, they mold themselves into you, into somebody that you would want them to be. It's not their real selves. But at the time, when we are in these relationships, we don't realize, because it feels nice to be idolized. It feels nice to be put on a pedestal and someone to give us that attention. Like, don't get me wrong. It's great. It feels good, but it's not real. And so these are childhood patterns learned from their traumatic childhood, but they make a choice. We all make a choice. Do you know what? A lot of us have difficult childhoods. All right, a lot of us do. Do you know what? Probably like 95%, maybe 90 to 95% of people have really difficult childhoods. There is, especially nowadays, trauma is it's everywhere. And it's really bad. And trauma causes this disconnection. But you also make choices. You have choices. And they choose that path. They choose to disconnect from who they are and build these walls up and have this dysfunctional ego. All right? So understanding that part of it, and then think about when you connect in relationships to other people. You need to bring your authentic self to the table, and they don't do that. Like I said, they're going to be there to please you, to draw you in. That's what they're doing. They're drawing you in. It's a trick. And so when intimacy happens, all right, whether you're in a long-term relationship with this person, or whether maybe you're bit on the side, maybe you're the person that they choose to be friends with benefits, or what I'm saying is there isn't that commitment. It's just it's just for that. And I will talk about why they do this. Even though they might be married, they might be in long-term relationships, they've got to have the little extra bit on the side. I will explain why they do this. So, there is no connection, even at the beginning of the relationship. Although we think that there is. We think that we have met our soulmate. We think that this person is just amazing. It's just so good. And this is the one we are going to spend the rest of our lives with. This is them. So it's funny because I just was thinking, I was about to go to the next bit, but I was just thinking it's, even though they give us nothing, and when I work with clients, they always say, but it's so hard to let go. It's so hard to disconnect from this person, as it feels like they've put this spell on me. It feels like I can't forget them, even though they didn't give us anything. But it's so hard to detach, so hard to forget about them. And that's because it's really hard for the brain to distinguish when the person that you met to the person that left. They are not the same person from when you met them to when you leave. So when you meet them, they're this most amazing person. Like I said, they're your soulmate. You feel like you're going to spend forever with them. And this is going to be so amazing because they've put you on a pedestal. They're obsessing over you. They're showering you with attention. And that feels good. So at the time, it's kind of like you're in this fantasy with them, in this dream world with them, you know? So what happens is it's like first impressions. That's how you get to know people. Like their first impressions matter all the time, because that is how our brain then kind of decodes and processes who that person is. So when we're in these relationships and suddenly they start changing, they start, you know, withdrawing from you, they're not talking to you, you know, they start being strange and they start being rageful, their arguments come out, and suddenly, you know, their emotional well-being is your problem, or you have to help them in some way. When that starts happening, what happens is we then click into the kind of the mode that we've got to make excuses for their behavior, or we've got to somehow help them, because what happens is the brain recognizes that actually this person, how we got to know them, they're so lovely to us, they're so good, this is them, this is who they really are. They're just having a bad day, maybe a bad week, maybe a bad month, I don't know, but this is what I mean. Our brain just thinks, oh, we've got to protect them, we've got to help them, we've got to do this. But what they're doing, all right, what they're doing is they're drawing supply. They want that attention from you. They want you to look after them. They want the protection. They want you to like, how do I say it? Like, they want you to give them your energy, give them your emotional validation. Because this is the important thing that they're looking for. They never got this as kids, as children in their family. They never got that. So when someone is giving them this attention, they expect it from you because they did it at the beginning. They did it for you. You've got to do it for them now. That's how they think. So this is how they understand bonding. You got to do something for them. Transactional. That's what's going on. It's transactional. So if we now relate it to intimacy, it's the same thing, transactional. And how many of you never felt connected to this person, even during intimacy? It was just something robotic, something that was, there's no meaning. It just didn't feel like anything. There was no touch, there was no connection. Or maybe it was the latter. Maybe it was that it was the most potent experience. It's either one or the other. But this potent experience that you have with them, it doesn't last. It might happen once or twice. But what is happening is they're using your body. That is what is happening. They're using your body. And I know that sounds really awful, but that is what is happening. There isn't no connection there. And for a lot of you, this may have been quite hurtful because you can feel when someone is not connecting to you. You can feel when someone is withdrawing. So this is the painful part, because we then internalize it. We then think, oh, is it something that we've done? Is it, you know, like, how can we fix it? How can we make this better? How can we how can we help this person? So we make it our responsibility. And actually it's not our responsibility. And this disconnect that you feel, this robotic experience, is exactly what it is. Thank you guys. I know. How are you guys doing so far? Because I haven't got to the weird bit yet. I'm leading you guys there. I'm getting to it. Malika says, I went from being a goddess to trash doormat in the discard phase. Yeah. So you will be, put on a pedestal, but you'll be thrown off that pedestal onto the floor. Yes. You're right, Sean. They are information gatherers, unfortunately. They are reading you. So when they withdraw from you. Let's get into this bit. So, like they just stop the intimacy. It's like nothing's going on, and you're like, hello, what's going on here? Because it's bizarre. You're thinking, like, I've never even experienced this before. Like, what is going on? Why does this person not want to be intimate with me? Like, everything is going okay, like everything's fine. The next, like, you want to connect to this person. Oh no, this doesn't happen. And there's a reason for it. But what happens is it builds up this tension within us. And it's this tension, all right, that the narcissist is looking out for in our body language, all right? So they are withdrawing, all right? They are withdrawing, and they're withdrawing intimacy. So you're being punished. That's what happened. They're like emotionally cold. So you are being punished, all right? So what happens, okay, is like I said, it builds up this tension within us, and we're like so confused, we don't understand what's going on. But can you see what they're doing? They're using intimacy as a tool to control you, to get Erica, just seen, you said you got a puppy. Amazing. This is so wonderful. So they are withdrawing from you because they're building up this tension, because what they're doing is they're controlling you. They know that you want this from them. So this is the control. This is where they manipulate. Now, isn't that weird? Why would someone do that? Why would someone use something that is so important, that is so sacred between the two of you, because it's your relationship, this is the connection? Why would someone do that to you? Like, for me, I think that is the most strangest thing. Like, as human beings, we are kind of like programmed to do that. Like, so what you're doing is you're going against the natural order, okay? And you are just not behaving in a way that is healthy. So it gets to a point where you do get frustrated, where they push you to that point. Remember, they will watch you. They will watch your body language, your facial expressions. They have worked you out. They get it. All right? And so you get to a point where you can't take it anymore. And what do? Frustration, tension, you explode. You explode because you don't understand what's going on. And that's when they've got you. They are pressing your buttons. They're triggering you. So for a lot of us, this type of conditioning may have happened in childhood. Abandonment, not feeling good enough. So this is triggering our trauma further. Can you see what is happening here? And then, if they feel like it, they'll, you'll be intimate with one another. But this is the hard part of it. But understanding and decoding this behavior will help you to understand it a little bit better, because intimacy is it's really associated with, your emotions, but also your cognitive parts as well. So it's psychological as well. So if we look at their behaviors, like how we know them, okay, withdrawing, building up this tension within you, and then controlling and manipulating the whole experience, means that they've got you. That is what's going on. It's a control. And it's always on their terms, on their time. And if it's this day, no, because you want it. Another day, it's fine because they do. And they're in control. That's how they control you. That's how they condition you. And this is further feeding into your triggers. You then internalize it and think, oh my God, I need to fix this in some way, like, because I've misbehaved. Remember, when we are growing up, even at school, if we do something wrong or we don't, please someone else, then we have to somehow fix it. So this really leads into, I'm not saying this is like people pleasing, but it's part of our conditioning as children as well. You know, like we have to be considerate of others. You know, if we've hurt somebody else's feelings, we've got to try and be nice to them. So this feeds into the bigger picture. Okay, so there's that part of it. There's also the other part of it where it's overused, where it becomes a real problem when it's used too much. It could be that, you know, the narcissist that you had a connection with, or that the one that you were in a relationship with, was just someone that, you know, was never committed to you, was just someone that came and you were intimate with for like a few hours and then they left. And it was only just about that. There's no judgment. There's no judgment here, because it's fine. This does happen. And you felt like you were just an object. You were just an object of desire. And that's all it was. You weren't respected. And it was never going to change. That dynamics of that interaction was never going to change. So there's either one or the other. Now I'm going to explain why this happens. This is the weird part. Okay. Everyone ready? I don't know why I'm laughing, because it's not funny. It's actually not funny. Okay. So Freud, yes, our good old friend Freud. Do you know what? I think he's a genius. I do like his work. Anyway, Freud talked about this condition called the Madonna whore complex. Okay, the Madonna whore complex. So the Madonna, well, we all know what Madonna is. It's not the singer, not the singer. I'm talking in biblical terms, all right? The Madonna is a saint, all right? She is someone who is worshipped, who is put on a pedestal, the mother, the nurturer. The whore, well, we all know what a whore is. The whore is an object of desire, someone that is just used for intimacy for a short amount of time, and then they go. There's no commitment. There is a lot of passion and there is a lot of desire there. No commitment, no respect. Okay? So these are the two contrasting, archetypes of women that a narcissist sees. So, when we talk about the narcissist's upbringing, okay, we're talking about this is how they see it. It could be, it's not just male narcissists that see women like that. It's also female narcissists that see men like that too. They will have the one man that they will put on a pedestal, they will worship, but they will not desire him. They will have other men that they will sleep with. This is why they have other partners. This is why they do cheat on you. Like 95% of the time, they will cheat on you. I know that a lot of you have been cheated on, and it's the most hurtful thing that anyone can do to another human being, because it's a betrayal. It's a betrayal of trust. How do you get past that? That's one of the hardest things. So, this is why this happens, because this isn't a normal part of development in a child or in an adult. This isn't how you're meant to see another human being. Remember, this is objectification. What can you do for me? What this person does for me. The Madonna is there, and then the whore is there. They put people into boxes, into compartments. It's called compartmentalization. It's a psychological term that a lot of people who have enduring mental health, they do this, okay, because they dip in and out of these. They're like compartments in the brain. And it's like they go from one scenario to the next. Usually in personality disorders, do you know, I remember I did actually meet somebody who did have like multiple personalities. I didn't meet them, I worked there, I worked there quite a while back now, actually. So I worked in a low secure mental health hospital. with a lot of people who had personality disorders, schizophrenia, but mainly personality disorders, but real like enduring ones, so like schizotypy, psychopathy. You know, these are people who had like forensic backgrounds, and they this is on like, this is the pathological side, right? So this guy, oh, this guy, he was there for sex offences. I said the word, didn't I? Whoops, I hope I don't get banned for those offences. And literally this person would just switch personalities. Literally, even when you were doing like therapeutic work with this person, even when you were kind of around this person, in like the hour that I spent with him, I think he changed personality about 2 or 3 times. And it's very strange to watch because it just happens like that. You don't know. And the voice change, the mannerisms, the whole lot. Like, it was so weird. Like, it's what happens. It's how the brain during trauma, like during enduring trauma, copes with different scenarios, with different. They don't live in reality. It's more fantasy thinking. So in psychology, it's called magical thinking. That's how they kind of see. That's how they process the world. So this is why, you know, like, they don't understand social cues or emotional cues. They get it. They don't understand. They misunderstand it. So this is what happens. All right, this is exactly what happens with these types of individuals. But I'm not saying that, you know, the narcissist in your life would go from these different change between these different personality types. I'm just giving you an example of like a pathological person, you know, with enduring mental health, how compartmentalization looks like. It's part of the brain's way to cope in uncomfortable situations. It could have been that, you know, being around other people, meeting new staff or whatever was really difficult for that man. And so this is why he had to change personalities, because he felt safe within that. Yeah. Okay. So going back to the Madonna whore complex coined by Freud, the Madonna whore. Okay, so we've got the two archetypes. Again, it's gender neutral. It can, you know, it can be for a female narcissist, you know, the males, and for a male narcissist, the females. Right. This is the bit. All right. The reason why this happens is because of emotional incest. So this means that the narcissist, okay, would have experienced emotional incest in their childhood, where boundaries were crossed by a caregiver or a parent. Now, for a child, what you have to understand is a caregiver or a parent, all right, is a figure in their life that they trust. Now, when that trust is betrayed, it causes disconnection from self. It causes you to disconnect from your own body. The reason why is because you don't understand the emotions that you are feeling. Now, I'll give you an example. Let's take the male narcissist and their mother. Emotional incest that is happening, all right? The mother, for example, could be oversharing on a relationship, talking about, you know, deep emotional stuff, you know, to the child, the male child. And the male child's like, oh my God, this is too much information. So remember, they're understanding what their mother is saying, but it's inappropriate. That child is knowing too much information about their own mother. They may talk about, I don't know, like intimacy with another man, or maybe their father. You know, this is wrong. This is oversharing too much information. It might be that what happens is that narcissistic child, the son, might feel responsible for their mother. So they then step up to a different role. You know, the roles are blended. Okay, because the mother has done that to her son. She may also touch him inappropriately, which also is a big indicator why this happens. It might be that actually he sleeps in the same bed as his mother. Again, it's a crossing of boundaries. For similarly, like if you take a father and a daughter, for example, the father may be inappropriate with their daughter, telling her too much information about intimacy, for example, talking about this stuff. It might be that maybe they watch porn, or there's very over sexualized material around them. So what happens is that this kind of sexual content becomes desensitized because it's readily available, and the adults around are encouraging this behavior. This is emotional incest, when the parent is inappropriate with their child. This narcissistic child goes on to have, I don't know, like daddy issues and then or mother issues, where they cannot connect to the other gender, or the same gender, if for example they are, bi, or they are, or gay. So this causes this disconnect. This causes this splitting. That's what it's called. It's called polarization. So in that, the child doesn't know how to feel. And so there happens this displacement within the polarization, the displacement of personality and displacement of emotions. Because how is it that you can fall in love, okay, because boundaries are crossed, how is it that you fall in love with your mother or your father? Like, I mean, fall in love. So you have feelings, you have sexual feelings towards your mother or your father. Thank you so much, Blue X. Lots of gratitude to you. Thank you ever so much. So the child falls in love with their parent. They have sexual feelings for their parent. Now, this, okay, is very traumatic, because it causes this polarization, like I said, and this disconnection. Now, this child knows that it is wrong, to have those feelings about your parent. It's not that child's fault, but the parents. Boundaries have been crossed. Listen, I'm not letting anyone off the hook here. I'm not saying that, the narcissist, we feel sorry for them. I know that we do in some way, but again, it's about choices, all right? So going back to what I'm saying, so the child has these sexual feelings for their parent. I know, Sean, I feel the same. But they know that they can't have their parent in that way. So this is where this disconnect happens, because they can't control their body, they can't control their emotions. Remember, they are a child still. They don't understand what's going on. They don't understand what's happening. And so they try to stop that. So this is where the displacement of emotions happen. This is where the Madonna whore complex starts. Okay, the polarization, the breaking. All right, this is when actually the narcissistic child will have an emotional breakdown. That's why it causes this disconnect. They don't know that they are having an emotional breakdown, but they are as a child. They know what they are feeling is wrong, yet their body is experiencing that, and it is very real. So this is why they disconnect from themselves. For a lot of them. There could be other trauma. Other trauma could be sexual abuse, inappropriate touching, rape, that sort of thing. This causes this disconnect within them, and this is when they have this emotional breakdown. Now, what's happening to the brain neurologically is when trauma is experienced by a child, it puts blocks within their neural pathways. Now, these blocks means that it's emotional stunting. So it means that those neural pathways will not work properly. You can't, if the growth of a neural pathway is stunted, it means that's it. What happens is the neural networks will work around it. Now, All right, I'll explain it. So when it's growing, there's the block, yeah? So the neural pathway can't get past this block. What it will do is create a path to go around it, but this block will stay there. Now, if you think about the emotional development of this child, when there is this block, it takes time for a neural pathway to figure out the way to go around. So this is why they don't develop emotionally in the same way that we do, or any other kind of healthy child. That doesn't happen. So this is where at certain, because there could be more than one block, there could be another block here and another block here. So this neural pathway has to kind of go all the way around the houses. So this is why they don't develop emotionally in the correct way. This is why they don't understand emotional and social cues, because there is neurological trauma within the brain. So it really, this is happening in a child's mind, at the time, right? Remember, we become cognitively mature at the age of 25. That's when we actually become an adult, at the age of 25. So this is when, if you can imagine, this is happening to a child anywhere between 5 to 15 years of age, right? This is the crucial major part of development of a child, and they are having to deal with that. They are having to deal with unwanted, they don't understand these emotions. They know that they are being touched inappropriately. They know that their feelings are inappropriate. They know it's wrong. They feel like their body is letting them down. How do you cope? They disconnect. So the compartmentalization happens after the disconnect. They understand that either their mother or their father isn't someone that they can have or desire sexually. So they worship them. All right? They put their parents on a pedestal. They do. Every child does this. Every child does this. This unconditional love that they feel for their parents. However, the narcissistic child loves their parent, but also in the equal measure, they hate their parent. They really hate them. I mean, they hate them because of what they have done to them. They keep this hidden because the parent will always say to them, you mustn't tell anybody. This is kept in our family. They make it so that the child is scared of telling anybody outside of that family. It's called enmeshment. And that is what is happening here. They are enmeshing themselves, which is exactly what the narcissist does to you guys, right? They enmesh themselves in your life. They make you an extension of themselves. They want you to be like them. You see inside their mind because of their actions, the way that they treat you, the way that they behave. Yeah? So the enmeshment, all of these behaviors, everything that you guys experience, this is what the narcissist would have experienced as a child growing up. Remember what I said, none of this was corrected. Nobody said, oh, you need to go to a psychologist, you need to talk about it, none of that was ever said. Remember, this is all kept hidden, secret, covert. So this is all under the radar, like nobody talks about this, everything's fine. So, when you ask them about their childhood, how was it? They're like, yeah, it was really good. I love my mum and dad. They were great parents. This is the dissociation. Nobody must know. So the parents become worshipped, and they are obsessed about, I don't know, maybe in your experience with the narcissist, did you ever see how they behaved with their parent, how they were with their parents? Were they overprotective? Did they do above and beyond what they really should do for their parent, whether that's mother or the father? The mother or the father won't allow the child to get very far. Like they have to stay in close proximity as adults, I'm talking about. They have to be in close contact. That's what I'm saying. They're not able to have their own lives. Remember, this is part of the enmeshment. Their parents still have to have control over them in some way. Okay. So then we get to the whore part, all right? The narcissist, all right, will, whether that's male or female, will have more than one sexual partner. It happens because they need to get attention. They need to feel wanted. It's not that they have needs. It's never about that. It's not about the need of wanting to connect to someone intimately in that way. It's more about getting the attention of that person. And if you think about it, during the climax, during that, initial part, that is what I'm talking about. It's not the actual act. It's that attention and that focus that that person can supply the narcissist. And it will just be momentary. There is no commitment. It's not that they're going to stay with them. They are just props. They are used for just that. They will be desired. There will be a lot of passion. They will be very desired. They will want them, and they will have a few people like that. It's not just one person that they choose. That's why they have more than one sexual partner, more than one kind of whore. If we're looking at that part, there's more than one person. So it won't just be them. There'll be more than one, like, bit on the side. The Madonna will only be one. It will just be that person. Either it could be the mother or the father and then the partner. But this person, the Madonna, the person that they have put on a pedestal, the one that they're obsessing and would do anything for, the one that they have respect, the one that is not allowed to leave. I mean, these people, they're heavily controlled by the narcissist too. They are manipulated. They are never sexually desired, which is why, okay, do you understand now why the narcissist uses intimacy as a tool against you? They'll try and trick you. Like there could be a scenario, for example, where you guys maybe have broken up, and and the narcissist comes in and just kind of controls you with intimacy. And they'll try and wave that carrot in front of your face in order for them to hoover you back. They use this. Remember, intimacy is used as a manipulation tool. It doesn't mean the same thing to you as it does to them. They don't think twice about withholding it, but they can use it to manipulate you and control you and get you hooked on them again. That's what they do. That is what's going on here. So if you are someone who was the primary, this is why we talk about the primary and secondary supply. If you were a primary supply, the Madonna, then you are someone that the narcissist will not want to let go. They won't allow you to leave. These are the people that they will come back for. They will watch. They will hoover you. You're not allowed to leave. Remember, you are their property. That's what they think. That you belong to them. No one else is allowed to have you because you are theirs. And they're not going to share. They do know exactly what they're doing. They do. This is part of the personality disorder. This is what's happening. So these partners of theirs that they have, these multiple partners, they have these multiple partners because it serves a purpose. People are transactional. They don't mean anything. They are objects. They are transactional. Just want to check in with you guys because I know that was a bit heavy duty. How are you guys doing? Has anyone actually been sick? Because it's all to do with attachment. That's what it is. It's all to do with attachment, how you connect with another person. And if it is, in the foundation, if it is problematic, then this person is never going to be able to connect. That's what happens. Yes, Nazrin, I think. Sorry if I said your name wrong. Can a wife be the primary supply? Oh yeah, that's usually what it is. The wife usually is the primary supply, or the husband is usually primary supply. Definitely, yes. Children don't matter. Like children are not important here. Okay, it's about the partner. So that's where they get their main supply from. Do you do one-to-one phone calls? Yes, I do one-to-ones. Check the description box because all the information will be there. I do consultations. When do their kids they are attracted or not with the wife? When do they kids are attracted? I don't understand what that means. I know, Sean. I love psychology, but this is dark psychology. I know. This is why I said, guys, like I put out the warning, like you have to look at this in an open mind. This is a thing. This is a phenomenon, and unfortunately, this isn't a normal part of growing up. This isn't a normal part of connection and attachment. So yeah, it is the darker side of psychology. It's all about attachment. I mean, I know that when I first, I've got to say, when I first learned about this, it wasn't actually at uni when I was doing my doctorate. It wasn't then. It was actually when I stumbled across, I think I was reading some blogs or something like that. And I started reading around the subject and I'm thinking, well, why do they do that? Why do they withhold intimacy? Why is it that that happens? And I don't know about you guys, but like I think one of the first videos, which is one of like the most popular videos on my channel, I talked about exactly that. I did a few videos on it and I think they got like the most amount of views that I have on some of my videos. And because I know it's a topic that everybody kind of, it is something that everybody wonders about. Like, why do they do that? Like nobody else, like no, none of my exes, none of them has ever done that. Like, why do they do it? Why does that happen? So you see, it is one of the kind of the most stranger parts of human behavior. But what we're talking about here is a child experiencing an emotional breakdown. That is what is difficult about understanding this. It's not actually their fault, but the way that they get over it, the way that they cope with it, is their choices, isn't it? It's their choice. They choose to cope with it in this way. And dissociation, like this is a trauma. They don't understand it, and as a child, you can't articulate it. You don't understand what's going on. You feel it, but you can't find the words to explain it. Which is why narcissists don't really have a childhood, because it's taken away by abuse on many levels. Emotional abuse, sexual abuse. I'm not saying that every narcissist has gone through that, but the majority, if they're showing you these behaviors, then they would have done, yes. There would have been some sort of level of emotional incest for the narcissist to behave in this way, or for a human being to exhibit these behaviors. Usually when a child does experience sexual abuse or emotional incest in childhood, then they are usually diagnosed with a personality disorder, and in some cases, schizophrenia. It causes this emotional dysregulation. This is the polarization I was talking about. It causes this polarization where the child can't stabilize their emotions and their mood. So it becomes like instability of mood, not understanding social cues. This is a real thing. Like, it's really sad what happens, but yeah, it's a disconnect. It's because the body has let them down. They didn't want to feel what they did, and it's emotional incest, and this is what happens. And so that's why they have felt, or they feel this. It's not a normal part of development. That's right, Arthur. Arrested development. Yeah, emotional violence. Yeah, that's exactly what happens. You're absolutely right. That really sums it up really well. On some level, they are victims, but you see, because they disconnect from who they really are in this bid to cope with these feelings, to cope with this experience, they make the choice to create this alter reality. And that's where they live. Half in the real world, half in the other fantasy world, because it's a way to cope. So they're not really here. They're really lost. You know, part of the soul dies when a child experiences emotional breakdown. Think about it. You're having a breakdown. We can describe it as adults that we are having a breakdown, and it's usually a mental one, maybe linked with emotions. But we can articulate. We know we know what's going on. We know that doesn't feel right. But can you imagine a child who is 7, for example, or 9? How can they articulate and say, I'm going through this? And you got to remember that the narcissistic parents don't care. They don't care. They'll be, they're very disconnected from their children. You usually have one narcissistic parent and then you have an enabler. The enabler, which should have been vigilant to this, which should have saved their child, doesn't. The narcissist has got them wrapped around their little finger, whether that's the mother or the father, and the enabler can't see it. And this is the really sad part of it. That child, that enabler, doesn't see it. So they cannot help. They cannot help in any way. They are also traumatized by the narcissistic parent. So, like if you think back into, the narcissist history, like your narcissist, who you were, like back into their history, if you were ever able to get close to them on that level, they would have explained to you, or they would have told you about some sort of abuse that they had been through, that they had experienced as children, which has caused the person that they are today. So it's a really dark topic. It's really difficult. But we've kind of we kind of have to understand it, which helps us on our healing journey, that actually none of this really ever was about us, that we weren't good enough, that we didn't do something for them, like we couldn't fulfill them in some way, because at the time it probably was very, it was very hard to kind of come to this realization, like this person is withholding, are they upset with me, like what's going on, why is this happening, so really this is about controlling you. It's just all of their behavior is about controlling you. There is another agenda that is at play here. That's why they do it. It's because they want you to conform. They want your, they want your attention. They want your validation. They want your focus. Evelyn says, do narcissists choose their victims? Yeah, they do. They do choose their victims. They're very, very careful about who they choose. They are predatory in nature. They will go for people like you guys, who are kind, who are compassionate, who are patient, who are very empathetic, who are just really nice, and who believe the good in people. Because we like to believe that, people are good. The majority of them are. Not everyone is narcissistic, although, now in society it is kind of breeding them a little bit more. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, I'm not going to go into it. So, it's really sad. That's all I can say. It's like, it's really, really sad that this happens. But yeah, they do. They do choose the people that they are with. There's an energy about us that actually shines brighter. And we are nice, we are kind. Then they not everybody is like that. Not everybody shows these traits or these personality, like traits that we have. Yeah, traits, personality traits. Not everyone has that. And so when we have more or one combination of it, that's what they look for. And they will, they will hone you out. Oh, Laurie, bless you. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm so grateful. Thank you so much, Laurie. I really appreciate that. Papa says, at very minimum, they are carrying on emotional affairs. Yeah, and they're carrying on that emotional trauma that they have kind of experienced as children. You see, there was a study done, and it said that it basically looked at if you take one narcissist, how many lives that one narcissist will affect. And this was a really interesting study done. I think it was done in the States. And they said, okay, so for every one narcissist, so every relationship that the narcissist has, so for one narcissist, they will affect 60 people on average. I think it's a little bit more, but they will affect 60 people in that relationship. So think about how many relationships the narcissist actually has through their lifetime. Okay, that number, times it by 60. That's how many people are affected by narcissists. That's quite a lot. That's quite a big statistic. It's quite sad though, isn't it? That so many people are affected by this abuse. So it is something that we really need to be vigilant about. We really need to be aware that there are people like this out there. There are people out there with a hidden agenda. They'll say one thing to your face, but they mean something completely different. Because I get a lot of questions saying, Anushka, how will I know if I meet a narcissist? How will I know if that happens? You know what I would say to you? I would say to you, listen to your body. This is why I talk about connection. This is why I always say connection to yourself is so, so important. When your body doesn't feel right next to someone and you're experiencing anxiety, you're experiencing, this uncomfortable feeling, pay attention to that. Pay attention to that feeling, because that is what is going to save your life. If someone doesn't feel good, then it doesn't feel good. You can't tell by looking at someone if they're narcissistic or not. It doesn't work like that. It's their energy. It's the way that they communicate. It's massively about the way that they make you feel and how they interact with you, because that will be a predictor on whether they are toxic or not. And sometimes it's not very obvious at the beginning. So, most of the time, they will tell you what you want to hear. And that's what they do. What they're doing is they're trying to draw you in. That's what they're doing. They're like grabbing you. Their tentacles are like grabbing you, trying to get you in. Hello to the new people that have joined the live. Thank you for being here. They're trying to draw you in because they are trying to get supply from you. They're trying to draw you into this interaction with them so that you can give them supply. That's what they're doing. They want you, and they will pick specific people. That's what they will do. You have to listen to your gut feelings. You have to do that. It's very important that you are connected to your body, because if you're not, then you're going to miss this. We mustn't ignore it. Look what happened last time when we did. I know that we all dream of having that wonderful relationship, that connection with someone. And yeah, it takes work. But let me tell you, there isn't this fairy tale relationship out there. Relationships take work. I know that you guys know that. But what I'm trying to say is, if you guys are looking for someone, or you're dating or whatever, just don't give up. Take things slow. Because this, if the person has a hidden agenda or ill intentions, it will be revealed in time. The truth always comes out. I really like that, Arthur. Don't be scared, be prepared. I like that. Don't be scared, be prepared. You need to put protection in place. You mustn't allow people to take advantage. If something doesn't feel right, then it's not right. Yeah, covert narcissists are very dangerous because they are stealth. They are under the radar. Nobody knows. And they hide behind emotions. They tell you what you want to hear. So you've always got to, I don't know, use your discernment. Ask questions. That is what is important. So building that connection to yourself, listening to your gut, is what is going to save your life. And like I said, this is what the book is all about, is that connection. And talking about connection, guys, I have started a brand new Discord server platform thing, channel. I don't know what the right word is. So I just wanted to tell you a little bit about it. So this is another platform that you can have access to me. There's been a few of you that have come across, have joined, which I'm very grateful for. I am building, or not just me, or I am building this server so that we can talk more freely, we can connect. You know, I will be hosting talks on there with other professionals, kind of like doing podcasts on there, doing talks. It's a really great way, actually, it's quite a safe, contained space. So, you know, you can share your experiences, you can connect with other people within this community. It's Laurie, bless you. Thank you so much. I need to thank you for many years of friendship and guidance. My goodness, where would I be without you? Oh, Laurie, bless you. I'm so grateful. Thank you so, so much. Laurie, you are doing amazing. You have come so far. You really, really have, you know, and I'm so proud of you. Like, you, honestly, you've done such amazing things and come so far. Bless you. You know, it's really hard. It's really hard to have those realizations, I know, but you did the work and look where you are now. Honestly, my friend, you're a shining example. So I'm glad you're in a yellow box, because you're a shining example of how healing is real, like getting, you know, leveling up, moving to the next way. That is real. So thank you so much, Laurie. You're amazing. Thank you. What was I saying? Oh yeah, Discord. Yes. So what I have done is I have provided the links in the description box. Maybe the moderator could just, you know, put a link in the chat so that people could join. He'll do that in a minute. So the link will be in the chat, so for you guys to join the server. But it'd be a great way for us to connect in a safe space. Like I said before, you know, there's opportunities for you to ask questions, put video suggestions in, you know. So yeah, do come across, have a look, see what you think. I hope you do stay, and so we can, you know, connect on, you know, on another level, on another platform. Thank you. So with that being said, just want to check in with everyone. How is everyone feeling so far after we talked about the strange intimacy with a narcissist? Like, boy, that is just another level, right? Just come from a narcissistic friendship. Bless you. Yeah, you know, friendships as well are really difficult when someone is just wanting, you know, that one, you know, like they just want, like that negative, toxic kind of friend. And at the first you don't realize, you know, I think narcissists, do you know what? They are everywhere. They are around, but we have to use our discernment. And it's not always obvious. You can't always spot them. They're not always, you know, like it's not someone that you will suddenly just like. I remember I've worked in a lot of, you know, mental health institutions and things like that, you know, and you know, you'd think like in a therapeutic environment, you know, it would be a safe space, it would be like, you know, this is a place where people go to get healed and things like that. But you know, there were narcissists there. There were narcissists there as well. And you know, it takes you by surprise. It really does take you by surprise, because you never think, you don't actually think that, you know, they would be there in such capacity, or they would be there in that environment, because it's safe, like you're going to get healed in it, you know. But they are. I think I talked actually about I have talked about this, my experiences with the man with the glass eye, my boss with the glass eye, who was narcissistic. Like I'm not going to talk about him again. He'll find me and he will come for me. So I'm not gonna give him airtime. But yeah, like there's loads. I remember I was working in an NHS hospital, and she became my boss, and she literally used to come looking for me. Like she used to just see if I was actually doing my work. So she was micromanaging me. You know, this was just, you know, like on another level. So she used to like literally come hunting, like looking for me to say, Anushka, are you doing your work? I was working with dementia patients. We were doing therapeutic activity with dementia patients. And yeah, and she worked at the hospital there, and she literally just used to come and find me on, you know, on the wards and say, what are you doing, Anushka? Like, why are you not doing your work? What are you doing? And I was just talking with the patients. So yeah, it's really, they're not always obvious. And it's not until you start kind of spending some time with them, or you start interacting with them, that you realize that there's something not okay, that there's something untoward, something that's going on there that's not right. Thank you guys. A lot of you have said that you've liked my hair. Thank you. I've seen in the comments, I could, you know, like there's a lot of you that said it, so I really appreciate it. So I didn't want to stop what I was saying to say thank you, but thank you very much, guys. I had it done today, actually. It was kind of like more of a promote, like they did it to me for free, like to promote their salon. It's a really lovely salon near to where I live. And yeah, and I had to cut my hair a little bit because it was growing so long. And like the length was so long and I just couldn't manage it. But anyway, yeah, so they cut it, and I said, yeah, please do, like, can you curl it for me so I have it, you know, so it will just stay nice. So that's lovely. So thank you so much. I'll try and style my hair like this. I do like it. But you know, like when you straighten it, it's just so much, it's just easier, you know, when I don't do much, so I just straighten it, and then, yeah, then it goes all frizzy. So thank you so much, guys. It's very, very kind of you. So this is basically this is the strange intimacy. This is the disconnection that the narcissist, you know, like this is how they feel. This is what is going on for them. And I you know, it is a very strange phenomenon. It's a very strange concept. It's just something that's not, you know, because I saw in the comments of it, you know, and a lot of you were like, this is disgusting, this is like sickening and all of that. Yeah, it is sickening. It is. So, you know, this is something that actually, you know, you have to be aware. There are people out there that are not going to show you this. And you have to, you know, you have to be aware. You have to, like I said before, you've got to trust your gut on this. You have to trust your gut on this. Thank you very much. My background, do you know what? I'm changing the background, guys. Right, do you guys remember, like, in the videos that I used to have, like, that kind of, that navy, oh, look, I'm going to knock the tree over, like that navy kind of wallpaper that a lot of you had commented in the video saying, yes, I really like it, yes, da, da, da. So That is back. I had to get my dad. It's a wallpaper, okay? So I had to get my dad to put it up. I've been asking him for absolutely ages, and so he had never had time. Anyway, he did it, and I also ordered a neon light that says "Ask Anushka." So that should be coming. I don't know, maybe some point this week. So I'm gonna get my dad to put that up, make it work, and then I'm gonna have a completely different background, which I am so looking forward to. You know, it's good to mix it up. It's good to mix it up. Tanya Watts, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. So much gratitude for you. Thank you so, so much. I really, really appreciate it. You're so sweet. Thank you for supporting me. So for the newcomers, have you guys all pressed the like button? Because this will really help, and I'll be really grateful for your likes. This will help to get the video out there. I think my moderator has gone to sleep because he hasn't put the link up. I don't know what he's doing. Anyway, so yeah, Sean, I think it does come down from generations. It is messed up people, yes. And so it is all about like the way that people bring their children up. So it is generational. It is generational. And it's very, it's incest, okay? It's crossing of boundaries, which is what the narcissist does to us anyway. They do cross our boundaries. They don't, you know, they don't have respect for that. They don't have that understanding and compassion. Yes, thank you, Sean. Can you shout at him? Hold on, I'm gonna message and say, where are you? Sorry. Like, he actually must have fallen asleep. Well, there you go. This is what happens. Anyway, the show must go on. So, is there any questions that you guys want to ask? Is there anything that I can help with? I think we have talked about this subject, and I hope that it explains it. And so I hope that it helps you guys understand, you know, what is going on, why this is happening. It's ultimately the attachment disorder. That is what's happening. They are very cruel. It is like a cult upbringing. Yeah, you're right. It does sound like and it is. I was actually, do you know what? I was thinking, like, a lot of this actual family dynamics are displayed in a lot of the horror films, actually. You know, like like the film like Wrong Turn, or there was another film that was out, like, there's so many that, you know, like, it's very much cult upbringing, cult way of looking at things, you know, the enmeshment within the family dynamics. This is what is going on. And it's a very hard concept to, you know what, like, understand it. Oxford, thank you so much. Thank you very much. Thank you. So it's just, you have to disconnect from this person, because if you look at their upbringing, you look where they have come from, you can't heal someone like that. The programming is all wrong. That's a really good question. Do knocks do rebound relationships? I would say no. No, they don't. Simply because I feel like they've got supply. They've got supply on the side. So they're not rebounding because they never, yes, they ending like with the primary supply, but they've got secondary supply all over the place that they get attention and energy and all of that emotional validation from. So I don't think that they actually do get, or they do have, rebounds. That was a really good question, actually. That's a really, really good question. Yeah, it doesn't bear thinking about. Yeah, after many, yeah, it's just the way they are. It's just what is going on, you know, in their life, the way that they present themselves, the way that they are. So understanding this, I hope that this gives new clarity, and for you to understand that actually this wasn't your fault. Like, you didn't do anything wrong, or you didn't, you know, deserve this behavior, what has happened. You know, this, it's important for you to understand that you are enough, that you are more than enough, you're good enough. All right, this is this is about you, you know, like, this is about you moving forward from this is about you leveling up, understanding this, and moving on. There is nothing for you with this person. They are part of your past, and they are not going to be someone who you can reconcile with, someone who you can make this work with. It's just that their way of connecting, their attachment style is just so problematic. It just doesn't work. So it doesn't matter whether they did this with you. They're going to do it with the next person and the next person, because this isn't just something that happens, you know, with you because you've let them down, or whatever it is because you haven't let them down. It's just they perceive that you do, or they make you feel that you do. This is a lifelong thing. This is a lifelong thing the narcissist has problems with. They can't connect. They never will be able to understand that. So this is up to you guys to understand this and move forward. It's important for you guys to know your own self-worth and the value of you. Okay? This is important. So guys, I'm thinking that I'm going to sign off in a bit. If there is any last requests, I will be back tomorrow with a video, and I don't know what it's called actually. I completely forgot. I forgot the title, but there will be one coming out tomorrow at 8 p.m. There'll be one every day this week at 8 p.m. So I hope that you can watch the videos. I will be back next Tuesday with another live stream, and I will be putting up the kind of, you know, the poll of what we're going to be talking about over the weekend, probably like a Saturday. So you guys can vote what you would like the live to be on. It's been amazing having you guys here. It's been so lovely to see you. I've missed you all. It's been so much fun, you know, being on these lives. And I know last week just, I don't know, I'm sorry that it didn't work out. But I'll be back next week at 9 p.m. UK time, usual time. The link for the other side is going to be, I'm going to put it on after this, so I'll put it on so that you guys can join it. Obviously my moderator has actually fallen asleep. Like, I'm going to, I don't know, like, this is just so bad, so unprofessional. So I don't know, I'm going to call him after the live stream and find out what has happened to him. Anyway, he needs to be more on the ball. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. It's been amazing connecting with all of you again. And I will see you next week. And I will see you in the video tomorrow. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.